What disturbing truth did you uncover about our Pilates instructor? My friend walked into a luxury Pilates studio thinking she was treating herself, but instead, it became the worst mistake of her life. Look, we all know those bougie fitness places are overpriced, but this one was different. The $500 month quickly morphed into mandatory 5 a.m. sessions, forced $200 supplements she couldn't afford, and constant guilt trips about recruiting friends. 2 months in, she'd had enough. But when she tried to quit, the owner whipped out a contract demanding $15,000 to leave. My friend swore she never signed that agreement, that her agreement said cancel anytime. The owner's response, sue me or pay me. Making $2,800 a month as a teacher, she couldn't do either. My friend called me crying, begging for help. I'd worked as a paralegal, so I knew my way around contracts. First thing I asked for, the original paperwork. She only had an email confirmation. Month-to-month membership, cancel anytime, no commitment required. Interesting. So where did this $15,000 termination fee come from? I told her to get me everything, any document she'd ever signed, received, or even looked at sideways. Meanwhile, her situation was getting worse. The owner had moved the mandatory sessions from 5 a.m. to 4:30 a.m. because the body is most receptive before the ego wakes up. I'm sorry, but the actual BS, but it got crazier. She showed me bruises running down her spine from something called resistance breaking. Basically, the owner would stand on members' backs while they held plank positions. If they collapsed, they had to start over. One woman had cracked a rib last month. The owner called it releasing stored trauma. This wasn't Pilates. This was assault with a side of stretching. I started researching the owner online. Her website bio was impressive. Certified Pilates physician, masters in movement medicine from Switzerland, licensed physical rehabilitation specialist. Sounds legit, right? Except when I called the International Pilates Association, they never heard of her. Switzerland doesn't have a movement medicine program, and the state licensing board, no record of any certification whatsoever. The woman was a complete fraud. But here's where it gets really messed up. My friend finally found her copy of the termination contract. She texted me a photo, and I immediately spotted the problem. The signature was wrong. Not just a little different, completely different. My friend signs with a distinctive loop on her S. This signature had sharp angles, no loops. Someone had straight up forged it. She admitted something else. She'd been popping Advil like candy just to walk. The owner had been doing these breakthrough sessions, where she'd physically force members into positions until they cried. Last week, she'd made a 60-year-old woman hold a back bend for 10 minutes until she vomited, then congratulated her for purging toxins. I told my friend this cannot be real. I kept digging. The business wasn't even registered as a wellness or medical facility, just a basic LLC for retail services. Yet the owner was dispensing medical advice. One member had delayed knee surgery for 6 months because the owner convinced her the Pilates would fix her knee for her. My friend was deteriorating. She'd lost 15 pounds from the required cleanses, aka starvation, could barely stay awake teaching, and was terrified the owner would call her principal, something she'd threatened when another teacher tried to quit. I have connections everywhere, she'd said, but why did she want to see these women in pain so bad? That's when I made my decision. We weren't just dealing with a scam artist. This was a dangerous predator using fake credentials and forged documents to trap and abuse people. The owner had specifically selected teachers, single moms, women who couldn't afford lawyers, people she thought couldn't fight back. I told my friend to meet me Saturday morning. We were going to expose her. We entered during Saturday's key class. The owner saw us and smirked. She thought she'd already won. We need to talk, I announced. She smiled. All fake then. This is a sacred space. So is fraud sacred? Her smile dropped. I held up 2 documents. This is my friend's real contract, month to month. This is what you showed her. Notice the signature? The owner's smile tightened. Perhaps we should discuss this privately. My voice got louder. No, let's discuss it here. You forged her signature to trap her with a $15,000 fee. Gasps from the class. Also, you claim to be a certified Pilates physician. I called the state board. That certification doesn't exist. Members started murmuring. The owner tried damage control. You don't understand our methods. Standing on people's backs until ribs crack, making them vomit. That member who delayed knee surgery because you said doctors block energy. I pulled out my phone. I've got the Department of Consumer Affairs on speed dial. Fraud, practicing medicine without a license, assault. The owner went pale. Wait, what do you want? Release everyone. Refund everything. Members were already pulling out their phones, comparing signatures. One woman shouted, mine's forged too. The owner's husband rushed in, saw the scene, whispered urgently in her ear. She rolled her eyes and said she'd process refunds. But before we left, I heard her husband say, you and your kink for seeing women in pain. She got off on it. I got them arrested anyway.